Hello, my name is Francisco Sanchez. I am a Spanish immigration lawyer, and I'll be talking today about the non-lucrative visa. This is one of the most sought after visas in Spain. I'll be discussing how you apply for one, what do you need to show, and what do you get when you get one. I'll also discuss the new immigration regulations of 20th May 2025. Those regulations, they haven't changed the main requirements for the non-lucrative visa, but they have introduced some definitions which are important to take into account. So let's go first to the requirements. What do you need to get one of these visas? Well, you need funds because you're not allowed to work. This is one of the main features of the non-lucrative visa. You can't work while living in Spain. You can't work in Spain, you can't work abroad, you can't even work remotely. If you want to work remotely, you need to apply for a digital nomad visa. But with a non-lucrative visa, working is prohibited. You can't work. So you need to have funds to support yourself while in the country. This situation may change after the renewal. After the first year, you may renew your visa and you may apply for one with a work permit. But this is not what we are discussing today. We'll just talk about the initial application. And for the first year, you need to show you have funds to support yourself while in Spain. Those funds may come from passive income or they may come from savings. If you got passive income, it can be a pension, a retirement pension. It can be, if you own properties, you can have some rental income, or you can have savings in your bank account or some sort of investments. You need to prove those funds, and this is one of the new definitions. They just specify how you prove the money you've got in your bank. You need to provide bank statements. It must be in official bank, an official bank document showing the bank name, bank address, signatures, bank stamp, and it must show full account numbers, opening date, closing date if we are using an account which has been recently closed, and it must show the balance on the 31st of December of the previous year to our applications. Say we are applying today, 2025, we'll show our balance on the 31st of December 2024. You must provide 6 months of bank statements. This is the bare minimum. My advice is you provide 12 months. Why? Because it's easier to calculate in case you are receiving income, that the whole amount you are receiving throughout the year equals to the 28,800 euros, which is the minimum amount of money you must have to apply for one person. And remember, for a second person, for a dependent in the application, you need to provide an additional 7,200 euros. So you need to show these amounts in the bank documents in the way I have specified. If you own properties and you are receiving income from the properties, provide deeds and provide rental contracts, leases from those properties. So you can prove the origin of the money coming into your bank account. If you have a state pension, just provide a document showing you are getting that pension from the entity paying your pension, whether it's state pension or private pension, doesn't matter. But it has to show the amounts you get, and you have to show that money is coming into your bank account. So that's how you prove. That's the evidence you must submit when you apply for your non-lucrative visa. Documents like deeds, which are official documents, which are issued by the land registry, they must be translated and they must be legalized, depending on the country you are living. They must be legalized. So it's important because this is a requirement. Otherwise, your visa might be rejected. It must be legalized and translated, and you can't take it to any translator you want. It must be an official Spanish translator. Spanish embassies, Spanish consulates have a list of official translators which are recognized in Spain, and it must be within one of these lists. It can be somebody you know who speaks Spanish. It is not acceptable. So those are the requirements to prove funds, which is basically the main requirement of this visa. Second requirement is you need to show you have a health insurance policy. You need to show that you won't be a burden for the Spanish government. So because you need to show this, you cannot access Spanish public health services. The way you prove this is by having a private health insurance policy. This policy must cover the same services as offered by the Spanish National Health Service, and it must also have no co-payments. That means you don't have to pay anything to access these services, and you must be able to access those services from the first day. So the policy must be the closest thing to the services provided by the Spanish Health Service. How do you get one of these policies? Well, there are many Spanish insurance companies offering these policies. You must ask for a specific one for foreigners applying for visas. Cost, well, the cost is, it depends on your age, whether you have previous conditions, sex. There are quite a lot of factors affecting the cost. I would say that for the average male in his 40s, the cost might be around 700, 800 euros. But you need to find your policy and get one which is acceptable for this visa. You might get one in a different country, but my advice is you get one from the Spanish company because they know the kind of policies they must provide to clients. Well, on top of this, you must provide a copy of your criminal record certificate. It must be translated. It must be legalized. Each country provides criminal records in a different way, so you must ask the Spanish authorities in the country you are living which kind of records they require, because they are different for each country. But they must show that you are clean. You have no criminal records for the previous 5 years before the date of your application. If you have been living in different countries, you must provide criminal records for all those countries, but with a time limit of 5 years. So anything beyond 5 years don't have to be provided. Criminal records must be translated. I don't remember if I said that, and they must be legalized. And the final probably key document is a medical certificate. A medical certificate basically stating that you are not suffering a serious contagious disease. Those of the United Nations regulations of 2005, I think. And well, this is a certificate, an official document. It must be translated to, it must be legalized to. And well, if you come over to Spain, because for some people it's easier to come over to Spain, you can get one here for about 30 euros. Any doctor will make one, and you will have the official document in Spanish. No need for translation, no need for legalization, and it will cost you 30 euros plus the trip. Obviously, that's for people who live close to the country. In case you apply for the medical certificate in your own country, you just have to do all of this. You have to get a doctor to do it, to sign it. You must get the translation, and you must get the legalization of the document. Those are the requirements. Now, I said I was discussing the requirements in the new immigration regulations for this kind of visa. Well, I already discussed about the bank documents. They specify which documents you have to provide to show that you have funds available. But in the case of dependents, now there's a specification of what a dependent is. In the previous regulations, there was no specification, so dependence was something to be interpreted by the authorities. But now we have a strict limitation. Dependents are the spouse or civil partner and minor children underage. If you've got parents, they are not dependents. If you've got children over 18, they are not dependents. So unless they have a disability and they depend on you, if they do depend on you, I mean children over 18, they will be dependents. But there is no provision for parents. So probably there's a stricter limitation in the number of people you can bring with yourself as dependents. The final change, probably in my opinion, the most important change is the requirement to stay in Spain for at least 183 days. If you stay for less than that amount of days, they may deny your renewal. When you apply for your renewal, they will check that you have stayed in the country for at least 183 days. If you spend, say, 100 days in the country, you won't get a renewal. In my opinion, and this is a personal, professional opinion, this requirement will disappear, because in the previous immigration regulations, the 2011 ones, there was a similar requirement until somebody went to court. They took the government to court, and they won. The Supreme Court said that this requirement limits a fundamental freedom, the right of freedom of movement, and it wasn't allowed in secondary legislation. Regulations are secondary legislation in Spain. In order to limit fundamental freedoms, you need to do it through primary legislation, a kind of primary legislation which is called organic law. So whereas the immigration law, the main immigration law, is an organic law, that requirement of the 183-day requirement is not in that law. So the regulations need to be covered by the law in order to establish that requirement. That is not the case again. So in my opinion, people who apply for renewal might get their renewal refused, but if they take it to court, they will win, because the Supreme Court decision is valid for this situation, because it's a similar situation to the one existing before this new immigration regulations. So don't worry too much. Although, in my opinion, if you can stay in Spain for longer than 183 days, that's the perfect thing, because my guess is at the end of the day, you just want to get a permanent resident card, and in order to do that, to get it, there will be a requirement in for how long have you been absent for the country. So if you have been absent for too long, you won't get the permanent residency. And so if you really want to get to that point, just stay in the country for at least 6 months every year. Otherwise, you won't be able to get one. Well, you have to. We can discuss this in a different video. This is not the video for it, but you need actually to spend more than 6 months per year. So even though the requirement might be turned down by the Supreme Court, if you just want to get in the long term permanent residency, just try to spend in Spain as much time as you can, because you will need it for the long-term residency in the country. So that's basically all. I'd like to discuss a few more things, but I don't think this is the video for it. I'll upload new videos because there are so many details about the non-lucrative visa. We'll discuss them in different separate videos. And all I want you is, if you like the video, just click on the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when I upload any new videos. And remember, I am an immigration lawyer. If you need assistance, you can get in touch with me. Just follow the link in the video, and there's also a link in the description. And just please ask me. I can offer you my professional services. If you don't want to hire my services, you can put questions in the comments. I will try to answer as many questions as possible, but I won't be answering complex questions unless they are very popular and there are many people asking for the same thing, but not when it's a very particular personal situation. That's a difficult thing to do on a public forum, on a public place like the comments of a video. But like I said, if you want to get every chance of success in your application, just contact me. I can offer my professional services, and I'll be happy to just discuss with you the requirements, the documents you have to submit, taking into account your circumstances, and I'll be supporting you all the way until you get your visa. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.